fiction, science fiction, horror, fantasy, crime, LGBT, thriller.
You have now entered the House of Mystery.
Welcome back to the House of Mystery. I'm Al Warren, and we got Miss Jennifer Ann Peaches Gordon back. It's been a while. This is your first show since the new year, right?
I feel like I might have done one, but it's been a while. It has been a while. It's all been a blur, but thank you for always remembering to call me Peaches.
Well, of course. That's your horror name. And
That's my demonic, marionette name, my burlesque haunted marionette demon name.
Never trust Peaches.
Never trust Peaches.
She may smile. She may look good.
Or she may not look good.
Yeah, it depends on how you're looking. Yeah, if you look through certain glasses, then she looks really...
Oh, thank you, Al.
We're working it. We're working it.
We're working it.
Make this story...
This is why I haven't been back.
Well, it's important. It's important. This is a good story here we got from...
I feel like long-time listeners... they're putting in their dues, and eventually when the Peaches story comes out, they're going to be like, I was there when it happened.
I was there. Christopher Golden can be the origin story.
Chris Golden is the origin story.
Yeah. So today we've got the HellBound Books people. So let's welcome them. We're going to talk horror and their books and the publishing and everything. So we've got James H. Longmore and Xtina Marie. Thank you for being here, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you too, as well, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Yeah, we just call her Peaches.
You can call,
Peaches. I thought that would be rather too formal. You know?
A lady Peaches would be too formal.
I'm fine, and being a Brit as well, I could appreciate that. You know, Lady Peaches Davenport. That would be great.
Oh, I love it.
There you go. It's plus, you know.
Oh, Peaches is getting quite classy this episode.
Yeah, don't trust
Never
her.
Gonna happen again.
Yeah. Don't trust her. Don't turn your back on Peaches. So listen, guys, HellBound Books. Let's talk about that first. And James, how did HellBound's book start? Like, where did it come from, and what's the story behind it?
I'll keep it brief. It's a story that could make a novel one day, I guess. But it's actually Xtina that bullied me into it. We met bizarrely enough on a podcast many years ago. About probably nearly 10 years ago now.
Almost.
We were both published by another independent publisher who turned out to be. Not quite as what's the word, as kosher as he appeared to be. I'm trying to be, diplomatic here. And we met and we sort of gelled, and that all fell apart. The other guy's old publishing thing, and she bullied and harangued me. We should do this. We should. I said, no, I don't want all of that. I was happy. I was just getting, my writing was starting to take off, and I was getting picked up, etc. But, in the end, I gave in, and it's now, we're in our, 9 years ago now, we started HellBound Books with 5 books, one of which was Xtina's, 2 were mine. We had David Owain Hughes, I think Carlos Colon as well, and that was it. And we just started from there and just got our head down and slogged at it, and here we are, say 9 years later, well over 200 titles now, and one of the names in the independent horror community, which is great. So thank you for bullying me, Xtina. That was
anytime. Anytime. It doesn't sound like me at all, but no, I just thought that this would be. I mean, we had our a little bit of a glimpse into the world, when we were just writers. And I just thought, we can do this. We can really do this. And, let's just take a stab at it. And I think we've done a great job.
And we have. And it's funny, one of my key motivating factors, other than being absolutely terrified of Xtina, was I had an unpleasant experience with one of my books, Flanagan, that was picked up again many years ago. And the whole thing, the way I was handled, the way it came, even down to the cover art that the publisher chose, it was all unpleasant. And I thought, well, what I want to do, I want to give independent horror authors the opposite experience. I want them to have a good experience. We don't just say, oh, here's your cover art, for example. We involve them because it's important that the author loves their book, from the way it looks and the format, everything. And the more they love it, the more they're going to get out there and promote it. So, but I think as a writer as well, it's the dream is to be published, and to have that sort of spoilt somewhat. I know how that made me feel. And, we go balls out to make sure our authors never feel that.
I love hearing that. So I feel like so many of us independent and smaller authors all come from a very similar background of, we signed on with a publisher and things went, sideways fast, or sometimes not so fast, and, we're not paid, and we have like all these horrifying experiences. And I, too, looked at my podcast co-host, not Alan, my podcast co-host, Allison, and said, we should start a publishing company. And then we both went, well, we don't know how to do that, so we didn't. And we're thankful about that. I love that you both had the bravery to do this. How has the industry changed in this 9 years? Like, what have your growing pains been like?
Where do we start, Xtina?
Yeah.
Sorry, go on. You know where to start with this one.
No, I was just going to say that when I look back on some of our first books and compare to now, I'm like, wow, we have learned. I mean, we honestly, I don't think knew very much when we started, and it was totally, So we had to learn everything, and I'm still learning things, which is amazing, but also a little bit scary at times. I'm like, oh, how come I didn't know that? So there's definitely learning curve, I think, and we say all the time, when we get time, I want to go back to some of those prior books and make them as just as wonderful as the stuff we put out now, because there's definitely a difference. But it was all things that you learn, I think, along the way, and we have.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. No, I agree. I mean, for me, it's even with my own books. It is. Do you go backwards and go back and? I mean, some of our early ones could probably do with a bit more of a polish, but again, time being the key word there. But a lot of it these days. A couple of things I noticed, over the years is that the rise of eBooks. And eBooks were just, I guess, starting to become really popular back when we started. And then the meteoric rise of audiobooks. We decided to get into audiobooks probably 4 years ago now, maybe it's a little bit longer. I just saw it, in my background, I have a background in business and in sales and marketing. So I look for patterns and I look for trends and all the rest of it. And I saw audiobooks, were really starting to gain traction. So we jumped on that bandwagon, which has been great. It means our, HellBound Books are available on, in paperback, in eBook, in audiobook now, And the beauty of it was, on a commercial point of view, because my initial reaction was, well, he's making a book available as an audiobook. Going to detract, sorry, apologies if my dog's stuck. Is it going to detract from paperback up sales? Thankfully, no. It's been a whole new market, which is great.
Yeah, and as with the books as well, and in the authors, we do the same thing with the audiobooks, where we include them in every step of the way. They are listening to auditions with us. They are helping to pick the narrator. It's again just something that they have.
It's keeping them involved for me. Again, back to my experience, I was not involved, and I felt kind of left out, and not so much. If they'd done a good job, it would have been all right. But I will say, I mean, the big trend at the moment, and it is a big sort of elephant in the room in the industry, is the rise of AI. Now, unlike the other, unlike the other trends in the industry, we have given it a wide berth. We don't use AI for anything. Not all our audiobooks are narrated by real life narrators. All our cover art is created by artists, proper artists who we pay handsomely to create unique cover art. Editing is done by proper editors, etc., etc. You know, so I mean, how do you guys feel about the whole AI thing?
Oh, I'm violently opposed.
Oh, violently! Oh,
Violently.
there we go.
That was the Peaches side of me taking over.
There you go.
You know, I feel like it's really hard because for many years we thought of the idea of AI as something that wouldn't have anything to do with creativity. Like AI would be something that would make our lives better. And of course it came for the creative fields, and it came for art, and it came for writing. And I mean, to me it doesn't make sense, especially with things like horror. Like it's the human soul that goes into creating the written word or creating artwork that makes it unique. And that's just something AI is not going to do. It's not going to capture that.
Yeah, I mean, I've read some, you know, obviously it's my business, you know, I need to know what's going on. And also I've read some AI stuff, and you're right, it reads like it's been written by a robot, which literally it has, you know. Although I have to say, and we on our podcast probably a year or so ago, we had an authoress of sort of steamy fiction. And she'd had some AI done of a particularly raunchy scene in one of her books. So it was a sex scene written by an AI. Narrated by AI. Sorry. And it is the funniest thing I've ever heard. I mean, Xtina, you remember that? It was so funny. It really was. So if you want to giggle, but you're right. I mean, whether it's narrated, certainly the written stuff is just awful. I can see maybe people using it to write maybe, you know, technical stuff or instruction manuals, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But anything that needs that creative spark, and yet people are churning this stuff out, and because it's that easy to stick it on Amazon now, that Amazon don't care. Part of me wonders where it's going to take the industry, but I honestly believe it's the same with movies. I can't imagine AI is going to take over making movies.
Yeah, let's knock on wood. Yeah, I feel like we've been kind of like ringing the alarm bells as creators for a while now about this. And, you know, I don't know any creators that are pro generative AI, and I don't really know any readers that want to read a book written by a robot that's supposed to be about human feelings.
Now that you're in publishing and you've been publishing other writers, does that affect how you write yourself in a book?
That is a good question. For me, no. Or does it? I think one thing it has helped me a lot with is so I've become a better editor for it. But I don't write for the market. You know, I'm not that sort of writing. I write for me. And if the market likes it, the market likes it. And if they don't, they don't. You know, I guess my day job, my side gig, if you like, is as a professional ghostwriter. So I'm used to writing, you know, not to a formula, but to somebody else's formula, if that makes sense. So it's nice that I get to, you know, just let loose with my own stuff from time to time. Not that I get a lot of time to do that these days between publishing and, you know, putting bread on the table. So now, funny, I've just finished my first short story in a long time. I was invited to submit to a Wild West horror themed anthology. So I don't know. I sent it to Xtina, who's.
It is really good. I'm still reading it.
Obviously,
I am.
Read that one.
Yes, no, I am.
I've sent her all my books, Alan. She's not read one of them.
That's not true.
Not one.
It's not true. But, you know, he does not know how to write a short story. His short story is 25 pages. So that's where it's taking me a little longer because I don't have as much time as I used to as well. But
yeah, for me, brevity is not my strong point. I mean, it's like 9,500. The limit was 8, and so I sort of thrown myself on the mercy of the curator and said, "Well, I can trim it if you
are
want."
a man after my own heart. I always tell people, I'm like, I either write flash stories, like they're under 1,000 words, or it's like 10,000 words.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no sweet spot.
I know. I remember I wrote again. It was for a werewolf themed with Black Bed Sheep Books, and it was 14,500 words. And this like, no, you really got to chop this down. But again, it's a great exercise in, what can you can always cut stuff out without spoiling the story. Which is why I prefer novels, because you've got, even then, I think I've got 90, 100,000 words to go out, and, I'm on 110,000 words thinking, oh, is it ever going to end? But for me, once I get into these things, you're probably the same, Peaches, that it carries you along. If the story's going to be 10,000 words, that's the story, or if it's going to be 110. We just you just carry it on and it's finished when it's finished. I can now, I am quite adept at going back and, cutting here and there, and I can always trim if I need to if the word count is an issue. But I don't like doing that. I don't think any writer likes chopping their work up.
No, they call it killing your darlings for a reason.
Yes, I know.
They're precious to us.
I know. I mean, I wrote one, again, years ago, for one that Chad Lutsky actually curated. And to be fair, he was one of my first ones, and he worked with me, and we actually cut out the whole end of it. I said, it would be better if it just ended here. And to be fair, it is a far better story for it. The way it ends is just like one of those, wow, it keeps you guessing. And so I was grateful to Chad. We became friends over the years. So we've had him on our show a few times. Great guy.
Chad is great.
He really is. Love him to bits. Yeah. And I love his style. Absolutely love his style. There's just something that whatever he writes just draws you. And that, he's the only author in the past X number of years that has made me cry.
Yeah.
He's had me in tears with his work, and that takes a lot of doing.
Because normally you're dead inside, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much. But obviously not as dead as I thought. So thanks to Chad,
So do you both have a favorite part of the publishing process? Like, do you get really jazzed when you get in, like, all of the new work that you might be picking, or do you like the editing process? Like, what part of this is still so exciting for you that you just love doing it every time?
I'll let Xtina answer that one first.
Oh, okay. I am in charge of the audiobook department, so I think I am. I just love every aspect of the audiobooks. I love listening to the new auditions that are coming in, and so that I'm going to say that would be my favorite now. It used to be. I used to really enjoy editing, which is weird because as far as my own work, I can't edit my own work. So, but yeah, there was a weird diabolical pleasure, I think, in editing. But I'm going to say audiobooks now.
I think for me, it's discovering. We obviously get submissions in day out. Is discovering, something really, really different, really special. Certainly with novels, we're a lot more choosy now. We have to be because we get so many. And certainly last year, there's a few came across my desk. Was like, wow, it just blew me away. Just terrific style and just a great story, just everything. And that's after 9 years, I'm still excited by that. Even shorts for anthologies, I enjoy going through those. I would say we can't go through all of them. We have other people on the team will do that. So there's only one of me and one of Xtina, unfortunately. And you get a short, because a lot of the times, I will, I'm going through, say, short, and I'll read, maybe it's the first page. If it's not grabbed me by the first page, it's not going to grab me. And there are some that they don't just grab me, but I will sit and I will read the whole damn thing.
Yep.
And just because it's such a great story, well written, and it just pulls me in, and I love that. And it's nice that after all these years, I still get that. I think if I stopped feeling that, it'd probably be time to pack in,
Yeah, I do have to say, as far as a complaint, you did not ask about those, but when we're looking for submissions for an anthology, and you absolutely have to read the whole thing because I don't think they bother to read what the anthology is about. They just throw any story at us. So, I'm at the last page before I'm like, this has nothing to do with the submission call. It was a good story, but it's nothing. So I do get frustrated about
well,
that.
we do get the same with novel submissions as well. You know, we get people, and they'll obviously they've sent this out to heaven knows how many, and you know, having you know researched your website, you know, I think my young adult science fiction fantasy novel is perfect for HellBound Books. I mean, you know, the clue is in the company name, to be honest, but you know, that can be a bit of an annoyance, but.
Well, sometimes, you know, sometimes romance is hell, so.
That's true. That's true.
How do you think the horror community is doing today as compared to other great times like in the 80s or 90s and stuff? What's your opinion about the whole horror community?
Social media is awful, and I kind of miss the days before social media when it comes to this, because while I think there's amazing authors out there, and I hate seeing all it right now. Everything is just so toxic online, and it's bleeding through into the horror community. And you know, there was a time that, you know, I followed the romance community as well, and they were always at each other's throat, and it was just, I'm like, man, those people are awful. And now I'm seeing it, you know, with the horror community, and that's just sad, because we used to be, I think, a tighter knit group. Everybody, you know, we just had everybody's back, and now that's just, that's a thing of the past. And I definitely do think that it's social media has done this. And
when Xtina and I formed the company all those years ago, you know, our mission statement was no drama. We just don't get involved. I mean, you know, people try and rope us into it, and we just like, I'm with Xtina. I very rarely look at Facebook these days. Our PR company, you know, they handle Facebook and all the Twitter and TikTok and all the rest of it. Because it draws you in, and that was that said. I will only do this provided we just stay out of any and all drama. You know, I mean, you know, sometimes it comes for you and you have to handle it, but you know, we never, you'll never see HellBound Books' dirty laundry aired online.
Oh, too bad.
Well, then we have no further questions.
It's been great, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
No J.D. Barker moves or anything coming
Oh, Alan, no.
Oh, no.
Well, you know, I mean, whatever. That's a lot of the.
That was many scandals ago.
Well,
Alan.
yeah, but this is kind of the whole thing. Like scandals like this just come up, and it still affects everyone. It still stays on the back of everyone's mind, even if more scandals come along, right? You say J.D. Barker, everybody right away.
Yeah, that's what you remember.
Yep.
That's immediately you're there. I mean, there's what was the other guy? Was it? I don't want to quote a wrong name. I think it was Tim Miller, Xtina.
oh yeah.
We had him on the show a couple of times. Great
Yeah.
guy. And then I won't go into details. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. He made a mistake, and yeah, let's leave that one there.
So do you two, as creators and as publishers, do you each have like a favorite horror trope? Like, what is your favorite kind of horror? Whether it's to read, write, publish.
I love ghost stories and possessions and stuff. Well, okay, I don't know if I'd say I love them because they scared the crap out of me. But maybe that's why I do like them, you know, so much. But yeah, definitely demons and ghosts and possessions. I'm all
For me, I'm a sucker for werewolves, I have to say. And I was always, when we started, I thought, I really want a really, really good werewolf story. And then it took a while, but one did come along a few years ago, which we published Invasive Species. Carl Johnson. Great, brilliant. Again, it's nice and different. A bit like, I don't know if you've read Stephen Graham Jones's Mongrels, you know, that sort of is different. It added something to the trope, you know. I do like demons. I like creature horror. I like, you know, body horror, sort of the extreme into bizarro, that sort of thing. So, but again, for me, you know, good writing is good writing. You know, I like a jolly good ghost story as well.
So where do you see yourself going in the future here? Like, is this just the beginning and just going to be like a lifelong thing, HellBound Books?
I absolutely, that's the plan, yeah. I mean, you know, we will keep expanding and, you know, building our catalogue, and, you know, we're attracting, you know, some of the bigger names. You know, it'd be nice to bring, you know, be able to, what I would really like is to discover the next Adam Neville or Nick Roberts. I mean, we actually, funny with Nick Roberts, he's sort of blown up with The Exorcist House recently. We actually published his audiobook, funnily enough. You know, to discover that next big, you know, big blow up, that would be great. But no, just putting out good quality anthologies, good quality novels, and you're just building on our reputation. I think that's, to be fair, the past 9 years we've seen them come, we've seen them go, they pop up, and then they pop back down again. We've seen there's a lot that we started out with no longer with us, you know. You know, I mean, Cemetery Dance, you know, we know Richard Chismar pretty well. Crystal Lake, you know, we're good friends with Joe Meinhardt. You know, these are the people who, again, similar to us, you know, they avoid the drama, they get their head down, they do good stuff. And I think that's the secret to longevity in this business, and hopefully that'll be us, you know.
I was going to say that we've seen a couple of publishing houses that sprout up really fast, and they seem to be really popular. Everybody's talking about them. They're the ones that have so much drama. And I do think that occasionally we get, I'm not going to say overlooked, but because we do stay a little quieter and we don't have all the drama, that, you know, those ones that they, you know, fly up, you know, and are crazy popular for just a short period of time, but then they fizzle out because of, you know, all
well, you know, as we said, you know, a few minutes ago, you know, people remember them for the drama. People remember us for the good books, and the we to be fair, we get a lot of compliments about our cover art. Funnily enough, people love the cover art. You know, but people, you know, they remember us for the books we put out, not for the drama we got involved in or anything else, which is great. You know, and it's been
as it should be.
It's been, yeah, absolutely. It's been nose to grindstone, and like I say, it's all the drama's going around. We just carry on. It'll flare up. They'll go whatever. And here we are, and that's the reputation. That's the brand we're building. And I think, I mean, yeah, there's been some that have popped up, and you know, like a group of, there's a couple of authors will get, like Xtina and I do, will get together and let's start a publishing company. And I think people think it's easy. They think it's just the same as self-publishing my book, and it isn't. You know, luckily, you know, between us we have a good background. I have a background in business and sales and marketing, obviously with writing as well. So I've been able to put a lot of that into practice. It's finally coming useful, actually, which is great. All this, I've worked for Toyota, I've worked for Duracell, some big companies. And a lot of, it's certainly when it comes to branding and the importance of building a brand, you know, that sort of stuck. You know, so I like to think HellBound is a very good brand nowadays.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So let's talk about how people find you. Let's talk about social media. Let's talk about website, everything. Let's give out all of your information here.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, the website is hellboundbookspublishing.com or hellboundbooks.com. We have both. Social media, we're everywhere. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. All the links are on the website, on the Contact Us page on the website. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on TikTok, LinkedIn. What have I missed? Instagram, obviously Goodreads.
Yeah.
Is that everything? Oh, sorry, X. I still call it Twitter.
I do
sorry. Yes,
Well, we can't call it X because X is right here in this room with us. She's right
Exactly.
here. Look,
Yes, he said X, and I was like, yes.
Well, I mean, Xtina is saving up to sue Elon Musk. So, good luck with that.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, I think is that everything. I think again, look on the website. We have a contact us page the link to all the different social media. We sort of ventured into TikTok, I think, was it either beginning of last year, maybe early the year.
Yeah.
Which is, again, you know, we saw this is up and coming, and it's not just little girls doing dance videos anymore. It
is for J.D. Barker.
oh God.
Oh! Mic drop.
Oh,
That
God.
was good.
Yeah, it was.
Terrible.
I love it.
Wow. Awesome, Alan.
I can't believe, and he is still trying to get on this show.
He's trying to get on my other show, too.
And I don't understand it. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Good luck with
are
that.
you kidding? Yeah, and I'm like, are you really serious? Please?
No, we do steer away from that, but yeah, we have our people, they put out the little video thing, and we're getting some traction from TikTok now, which is nice, so we've ventured into Blue Sky as well. I'm not sure how that's going. We sort of just did something different, just tried it out, and we were sent a code or whatever you need, to we're invited, so I need to ask Chris how that's going, actually. So I have neglected Blue Sky. I don't know if he's active on that, but the main ones were all there.
Well, fantastic. Of course, we'll put all that up on our website, too, so people can find it,
Marvelous.
find your books, everything, easily. And appreciate you coming on the show. James H. Longmore and Xtina Marie, HellBound Books.
This has been a production of the House of Mystery Radio Show. To find out more about our show, guests, or hosts, go to our website at houseofmysteryradio.com.